Okay guys, here's another one. I'm going to let you watch the first three plays, and then we're going to analyze them. This was game 3 of the championship for Silver Bracket against West Virginia. And this video has Mudbud in the middle, as opposed to the last video that had been. So this was a pretty good rally, and there will be a lot to say. So it could be a little bit longer of a video, but it's all stuff we can get better at, and it'll be worth it. Alright, so right off the bat, watch this. The middle gets pushed into our zone, and Mudbud made that shuffling movement to respect the middle, but that's exactly what we're not going to want to do. We didn't want to do it this past year, and we're going to be much more disciplined on it for this exact reason. The high-level setters can make that set right there. And this West Virginia setter had a really good flick back to the right side. It's a pretty quick ball. He disguised it really well. So Mudbud does a good job chasing it down. But right about in the hitting zone right there, a couple things go wrong. First off, Hines, you set up a good block, but because you drift, I'm going to put a mark at where you took off from, you kind of create a seam that we have to cover. See how much drift that is? Your left foot actually lands right back there, so it's quite the drift. But the other thing that kind of goes wrong with Hines' block is we don't move our hands back into the seam to help him close. Our hands are straight up and pressed right in front of you. The hitter's going to see your body. They're not going to swing at your body. They're going to try to swing around your body because that's most likely where people block. But higher level blocks will put their hands outside their body, and you could take up way more court and help Mud close. But because that's not the case, Danny has to respect the shot that goes right through there, and he fills the seam by going there. This prevents him from defending the deep corner shot. I don't want to do that. The deep corner shot, so anything cross, because Mudbud's right hand doesn't get pressed, the guy has pretty much this whole part of the court to swing at. It's a large portion for just Shulsky to defend. So the one thing that we can do at the block, Mud, is make sure we bring our right hand when we reach close. You do a really good job of reaching outside your body with the proper angle. If the ball was to hit your left hand, it would probably either go up in the air on our side and you would have taken off steam, a good soft block, or it would have bounced deep onto their side. So your left hand does good, but we got to remember to bring our right hand with it. That's not a very good drawing, but I think you know what I mean. Making sure that our hands are not much wider than a ball, so that if a ball is to field goal us, it's touching both of our thumbs. Defensively, Craig, it looks like you're in a good spot, ready to move. Your hands look, you actually can't see your hands, so let's see. Yep, palms are up there, kind of what it looked like. The thing that just goes wrong is we can't ask Shulsky to cover this whole portion of the court here. It's not going to add up too well. So the way that we can help with that next year is having Danny help out in that deep corner shot, and we're going to work on that crossover movement. So Mudbud's block, we're going to have to fill that seam a little bit better between Hines and Mud, both of you guys. Now, some of you might be questioning, if Hines moves his hands in, what happens to that line shot? People might start swinging at his left shoulder, right around him to deep. And the reason why that ball can still be defended is because Craig is going to deepen out at libero here, giving him much more time and much more range, so that he can cover way more portion of the court back there instead of just the little bit of segment that he was covering this year. And he'll have time to react, and he will be digging those balls, allowing us to help close that seam, allowing Danny to move over to that deep corner, and that's how we can defend the deep corner. With all that said, there's no reason why we can't be making a move for this ball. They just turn and look at each other and watch it fall on our court. Next point. Okay, so it's a similar play. Pass gets pushed into this zone. Mudbud follows again, but then realizes that he follows, and that last time he followed, the setter was able to flick it back. So he, right before this frame, he makes this breakdown movement right there as if he's ready to chase out to the right side. When in reality, if you look at the setter, he's pretty much showing all this time here that he has to set the middle or outside. So Mudbud does a good job of recovering, but look at how late he is. He's still planting his feet. He hasn't even jumped yet, and it's in the hitting zone right there. Luckily for us, me at right side did a good job of kind of committing to that. I think it's because I was reading the setter and trying to help out on that 31. But that's something most teams aren't going to do. They're not going to have the right side be committing to the quick in their zone. So this is going to be getting us a lot of blocks next year. So Mudbud, not a bad recovery. It's just all the stuff that you did before the ball was even set. All this movement right here. Breaking down, shuffling over, taking another step sideways. You don't have time for that at high levels. Okay? So that's something we're going to work on for next year. However, besides that, a lot of good things happen. So the ball's in the contact zone right now. Danny makes a good read going this way against the 31 zone, because most middles are going to try to hit the seam or that high seam or not expect the right side to help. Okay, so we're going to try to defend this spot right here with our middle back guy. Next thing that happens, Craig, palms are up. I love it. You're ready to dig the middle attack, and your feet are both grounded. You're ready to move in both directions. You vacated the tee a little bit because you have a lot of room to cover, but you have to when you have to cover that much range. So you're ready to move in both directions and cover a pretty large portion. And at libero, we're going to expect you to cover that. And I think you can with the quality reps that you'll get in practice next year. Hines does a good job opening up. He could be a little bit lower and try to help scoop up a tip or something, but that's just nitpicking. So this third point here. First off, a really good pass from Hines. Now the ball's in the setter's hands. It's already out of the setter's hands. Let's look at our timing. Mudbud, you're still working on your last two steps. You're late. Something very similar timing to Ben right there. We're going to be working on that for next year. Similar reasons, so that the middle has to commit to you, or when they think you're getting set, they jump with you, and you get our pin hitters way more wide open. And then with you running it more quick, you'll have the whole court to swing at, because they're not going to be able to peek out on their blocks. I don't know what this blocker is doing here. I think he struggled all game. He was like jumping and then pulling down his hands against Danny in the Bic. He jumped before Shulsky did. He had very bad fundamentals on how to stop the tip. Okay. Other things, the ball's in the setter's hands here. Danny's on his second step. He's got good timing. Hines is on his second step. Got good timing. But look at how high this ball gets set. So we set it all the way up to here. And let's see where Mudbud contacts it. Down there. That's too much time. Too much time for the middle to jump up and peek out on their block. Luckily, this guy misplaced the ball. I think he was hanging around with Mudbud a little bit too much, maybe wondering if it was a 31 or something, because Mudbud left so much space between Shulsky and himself. But someone who can jump a little higher, or peek out on their block, or reach a little bit further, everyone knows that with how far away from the ball you are, Mud, you have to hit it rightwards. There's no ability for you to hit the outside of the ball and cut it back. Okay? So the middle knows to block this shot this way. And someone who's longer is going to be able to roof that, because you're not able to put much power behind it and you can't control it. You only give yourself one option. So as a result, it's a pretty soft hit ball to the libero, to which he overpasses. Then during this time here, it's an overpass to Mudbud's right shoulder. We do it well. He doesn't quite adjust his feet, but that's pretty much because he just swung. There's not much he can do. So it comes into a joust. So right there, let's see how our hitter coverage is doing. Joust can land on either side, something we all know, but Hines standing straight up. Danny standing straight up. Smacko straight up. Shulsky straight up. Craig, slight bend in the knee. Luckily it falls in Craig's lap. Makes a good ball. Okay, this scramble play, let's take a look. Shulsky gives a beautiful high ball. Plenty of time for Hines to get his right, left, and adjust to a ball that is inside by a large portion. I understand there's not much we can do on a scramble play, which is why we're going to practice setting the ball so high, so that we can miss by that much and have our hitter still have a full approach and get a swing on it. Okay, so Hines takes a decent approach at this ball. Maybe could have two-step closed a little better to off-play the block, but right there he's got a good look at cross. He's got some court to work with here, and he got to approach so he can put some steam behind the ball too. Let's look at our hitter coverage now. The ball's in the hitting zone. What can we do as our guy's hitting? Mudbud, I love it. Palms up. Could get a little bit lower. When I play middle, I pretty much will get my knees to the ground, give myself more time to react for that ball that lands straight down. But it's pretty good hitter coverage out of middle. The rest of you, all four of you, are standing. 1, 2, 3, 4. Standing, 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 standing. Hines, I don't know why you try to hit line here. I watch this over and over. I don't quite get it. But he stays high and deep so that it's high off the hands and we get a reset ball. So almost like a free ball, but not quite because we weren't covering properly. Okay, so Danny passes it high, gives our time for the offense to set back up. He gets on he's a little bit late on the bick, but we ran it a little bit higher, and then he had the court to swing at to the right. I think you are starting to see how open the bick really is. These guys even put up 2 blockers here, but he has over half the court to swing at. This portion right there, about half the court, and a little bit over there if he really wanted to. The bick is an option that we need to have next year. Okay. From here on out, it's pretty much just a scramble play. Put up a good block on the tight ball there. Setter has a good flick back, and we get beat on the deep corner again. Not going to analyze this because I think I've gone over the deep corner a couple times already. But that's what I have here today.